So like I said, in this unit, we're going to study 4 types of conic sections: circles, parabolas, ellipses, and hyperbolas. That's an R. R. Okay? And conic sections are formed when you have a plane intersecting with a cone. The standard form for the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. You've seen this formula before. In what math class did you see this formula? Which one? Geometry. Geometry, you did. In geometry. Alright, now, how do we pick out the center from this equation? Okay, there's going to be a number sitting here and a number sitting. X will always be here, y will always be here. There's going to be some number sitting here and here. That is your center of your circle, okay? So that's why I put h, comma, k is the center. Whatever's sitting here and here is your center. The radius is the square root of this number over here. So it's square root of r squared, which is r. Okay? You say, okay, Ms. Chester. No, that's what I was about to say. It's opposite of what you think. If you see a negative number, it's going to be a positive number here. If you see a positive, it's going to be a negative in that spot. Okay? Because that minus is part of that general formula. Okay? Now you say, Mr. Church, what if you don't have a number sitting? What if you just have x? What do you think if there's not a number sitting in there with x? What's it? What could you put in and mean? What is it? It's 0. Okay? So like on number 1 right here, I want to know what the center and the radius of this circle is. Okay? The center and the radius. Okay? Make sure you label it center. It's going to be an ordered pair. What is with the x? Nothing, so it's 0. You see a negative 2, but what do you put in there? A positive 2. So the center of that circle is 0, 2. Now how do you find the radius? You take the square root of what? R of 16, which is what? 4. And that's your answer. The center of that circle is 0, 2, and the radius is 4. Now, let's ask that. Yes, you took the square root. In a circle, your radius, can a radius be negative? No, so you would just have positive. Okay. Now, I did not make you graph these on here, but you're going to have to graph some of them. So, let me just make sure you understand how to graph a circle, okay? So, let's say we have this right here. Now, if you have some graph paper, you can follow along with me. Your center is 0, 2. There's my center right there. Does everybody understand that? My radius is 4. What do you think I go out from the center? How many units? 1, 2, 3, 4. I put a dot here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I just go north, south, east, west. And then I draw a circle the best I can. And there's my graph for that. Does that make sense? Are you sure? You said, Mr. Sure, what if your radius was not a perfect whole number? Let's say it was like a square root of 2. You just go out and 1 point something around and just estimate, okay? You just estimate. You could run into that. Alright, let's look at number 2. What is my center here? Is it 4 and 5 or negative 4 and negative 5? It's the opposite of what you think. Your radius is square root of 24. Do you know that? No, but could you break that down? Yes, you can break that down to 2 square root of 6. So your radius is 2 square root of 6. You said, Mr. Chester, how would you graph that? That's a good question. Let's go over here. My center is negative 4, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, somebody type in your calculator square root of 24. You get 4.8, 4.9. Okay, so watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5, but not quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5, but not quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere close to that high. I know it doesn't look like a perfect circle, but that's your graph. Does that make sense how to graph something like that? Yes, son? Move my hand. Thank you. You're welcome. Go ahead, Kate. What?
For like when you go on the first one, when you went down to, so you keep the negative 2, you just write the center 0, 2?
No. Oh, Mr. Hester made a mistake, didn't he? Did y'all see I made a mistake? Yeah. I should have been up here. Thank you, Caitlin. I should have been here and went 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. No, you do not even look at that. That's not negative. Thank you. So it would have been like this, wouldn't it? Is that why y'all were puzzled looking there for a minute? That's what it should be. Thank you. We all understand that now. Are y'all good with this one? I didn't confuse anybody, did I? Is everybody good? Okay, sorry about that. Alright, let's look at number 3. What will be my center here? I'm not going to make you graph anything like that, but what's your center here? 1/2 and what? 3/4. Your radius, you take the square root of 9. Square root of 9, class. Square root of 9, class. Square root of 4. 2. You better respond to me. I'm about to get my gavel out. Now that is standard form. All 3 of those were in standard form. But does 4, 5, and 6 look like in standard form? No, they do not. So you got to do something different with those. Alright, so on number 4, you want to get all your x's together, all your y's together, and get anything that doesn't have a variable to the other side. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 2x, I'm going to leave a space, plus y squared minus 8y, leave a space, and bring that negative 16 over. We've got to do a process that we learned last year in Algebra 2 Trig. What's that process look like? If someone says it will make me tear up.
What's the first?
C. Don't cry now. Completing
square.
Get you some candy. That's completing square, correct. Okay, remember this. Ready? Take half of this. What's half of negative 2? What's half of negative 2? Negative 1. Square. What's negative 1 squared? Positive 1. If I add 1 here, what must I do over here? Add 1. Because you're balancing the equation now. What's half of negative 8? Come on, guys. Negative 4. Negative 4. What's negative 4 squared? So I'm going to add what right here? 16. If I add 16 here, what I got to add over here? 16. I rounded in room, so I did it like that. All right, so now, you're going to come in here. You see how you have these parentheses like this in this problem? You got to get the parentheses down here. So let's just pretend this is not, the rest of this is not here. How could you factor x squared minus 2x plus 1? X minus 1 times what? Which can be rewritten as what? X minus 1 squared. You see that? Couldn't I factor that as x minus 1 squared there? How about this one? It's got to multiply to give you 16, add to give you negative 8. What would that be? Y minus 4 squared. You see that? Equals negative 16 and 16 give you 0. You're just left with 1. So there's my equation. Now, can you tell me the center and the radius now? Yes. What is my center? 1, 4. And my radius is, what's square root of 1? 1. That's my answer. So you went from this form to in standard form, which is this. So you do a process called completing this square. You take half of this middle term, square. Whatever you put there, you got to put on the other side. Half of this, square, put it there too as well. Then go back and just factor that little part. Factor that little part. And then pick your center and radius. So let me graph that one and make sure I didn't confuse anybody on graphing last time. Alright, so I got a center of 1, 4. We're going to go at a radius of 1 in all directions, north, south, east, west. And there's my graph for that. Now, do you notice how this coefficient had a 1 right there? It has to have a coefficient of 1 in front of x squared and y squared to do completing square. Like over here, do you see there's a 2 in front of x squared? You can't have that. But what do you notice? All variables can be divided by what? Can you take that 2 out? I can factor that 2 out. I think I'm losing people, and therefore, let me just get this out here. I won't undo it today, but I think I'm losing some people here. Now, you need to pay attention. This is the easiest lesson in the whole unit. Okay? Now, so if I divide everything by 2, what am I left with? Everyone, x squared plus now, I got that. Now I need to group my x's together, don't I? Okay? So I have x squared minus 10x. I'm going to leave room so I can complete the square. Plus y squared plus 4y. And I need to move that 17 where? To the other side. So I got negative 17 on the other side. I'm going to take half of negative 10. What's half of negative 10? Negative 5. What's negative 5 squared? So if I add 25 there, I'm going to add 25 over here. Normally I would write it next to it, but since I ran out of room, I'm having to write it under. What's half of 4? 2. 2 squared is 4. I'm going to add 4 over here. Now I need to factor that. Take a moment to think about that. X squared minus 10x plus 25. That should be a quick factor. What would that be?
X minus 5 squared.
X minus 5 squared. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So I'm going to put x minus 5 squared plus, what would that be factored? Y what? Plus 2 what? Squared equals. Now I need y'all to put that in the calculator. Negative 17 plus 25 plus 4. 8.
No, 12.
12, okay? 12. 12. Alright, now what's our center of this circle? 5 and negative 2, and my radius is equal to square root of 12, which can be broken down to 2 square root of 3. It's not too bad, is it? What you think, Pascal? So you think we can have a quiz on this tomorrow? I'm just picking. Number 6. Alright. Is this in standard form? Standard form is when it's already looking like this, that you can pick the center and radius out. No, you need to get it in standard form. These 3 have not been in standard form. Standard form's like this. Okay, but the good thing is, what's in front of x and y? Oh, 1. So we don't have to divide anything out, do we? Alright, okay, I'm going to group my stuff together. X squared plus 14x plus y squared. I don't have anything else with y, so I don't have to worry about that, and don't have to move anything over, so it's 0. So since y squared is by itself, what coordinate will be associated with it? 0. There's never going to be no parentheses there. Now, I'm going to take half of what? 14. What's half 14, class? 7 squared is? Okay. If I add 49 there, I add 49 over here. Now, how can I factor x squared plus 14x plus 49? X plus 7 squared plus y squared equals 49. So my center will be what? Negative 7, comma 0. And my radius is equal to, what's square root of 49? 7. So that was our first learning target. I can identify the center, bless you, and the radius of a circle from an equation. That's as hard as that gets. How do you feel on your first learning target? Hands in onto the chest. Completing it square. I need to stay there for a minute. Let me look. All good? Okay, thank you. All right, now, the next part, next learning target is I can write an equation. I'm going to give you a situation, and then you got to write it. It's pretty easy. Number 7, I tell you that the center of the circle is 4, 3, and my radius is 2. So here we go, standard form. What will come over? Well, I put minus 4 plus 4 here. It's opposite of what you think, isn't it? So I'm going to put minus 4 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals, do I put 2 or do I need squared? What's 2 squared? 4. That's my equation of the circle. Because I look at it, I check it, I can tell my center is 4, 3. My radius is square root of that r. On number 8, you see 0 sitting in for x. So do you need any parentheses around x? I would just put x squared. X squared plus y minus or plus minus 6 squared equals. Now when I square root of 15, square that, that's just going to be what? 15. Because don't the square and the square root cancel out? That's your answer. Alright, now let's think about this. The center is 2, 3. These last two are, you have to think on it. Your center's at 2, 3 and passes through 5, 3. When this is passes, that means the circle's edge goes through the circle. Now I have my center, that's easy. I can go on and put that part down. That's going to be x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared. I just got to come up with how do I figure out my radius, because they don't tell you. How do you think we could come up with a radius? Talk in your group for a moment. Talk in your group for a moment. You're trying to find the length from that point to that point, aren't you? Length. What did I tell you on the ACT when they said find the length? You use the what formula? Distance formula. You want to know the distance from the center to that point. You want to find the length. So you need to use the distance formula here. So come on under here and write D equals. Did anybody say distance formula? Good. Congratulations. Good job. D equals. Watch this. X sub 2 minus X sub 1 plus Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1. That gives me 3 squared plus 0 squared. Square root of 9 equals 3. So your radius is what? 3. So what is 3 squared? 9. You said, Mr. I can visualize that. I can see 2, 3, and I'm going to 5, 3. I can count 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you could on that one count in your head, but if you can't sometimes, then you have to use the distance formula, okay? But yeah, you could actually visualize that. But your radius is 3, so therefore you square it. Does that make sense? And that's how I got 3 squared is 9 there. Bear with me. I have one more, Matthew. Stay here. Number 10, the center is 5, negative 4. That's easy. X, do I put plus 5 or minus 5? And then I got to put what right here? A square. If you don't put a square, it's wrong. Plus y minus 4 plus 4. Plus 4. Now, Alright, now, you might need a visual for this one. Alright, so let's graph this. This is so cool. Look at that. Is that not just the neatest thing? I'm writing on the screen right there. Okay, if I graph that 5, -4. That's the center. Okay. This is the center of that circle. We need to find the radius. It says it is tangent to the line y equals 0. Okay, when it says y equals 0, is it a horizontal or vertical line? Horizontal. So the line, y equals 0 is going through the origin right there, isn't it? What does the word tangent mean? Does it intersect it or just touch it on the edge? Touch it. That means if it's tangent to this, if the edge of the circle is touching that line, could I not count up from here to here to find the radius? So watch here. I'm at right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch this again. I'm here. I go over here. I'm at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my radius is 4. Does that make sense? So what will I put 4 there or will I put 16? 16. When it says tangent, you need to draw a picture and count up to see how close it's there. Alright, so this would be 16 because my radius is 4. Are there any questions? You have a good 7 minutes to get started on your homework. You have 1 through 15 odd on page 9. Do not put stuff up till I tell you you can put your stuff up, okay? How do you feel about this lesson? I need a hand signal. We're going to spend one more day on it, and then we're going to go on to the ellipsis, okay? Okay, yes,